This is episode 1 with Jolen Philbrook. Welcome to the Reignite Podcast. My name is Todd Judkins, a former naval officer and corporate consultant turned life coach, and each week we'll bring you an inspirational person or message to help you discover how to reignite your life, get back in the game, and thrive in everything you do. Thanks for spending time with me today. Now let's light the fuse and reignite. All right, everybody, welcome to the Reignite Podcast. Today we are here with Jolen Philbrook. Jolen and I met a couple of weeks ago at a conference in San Diego, which was quite a inspiring an event. Jolen actually does abundant mindset. You know, the 3 principles we use here at Reignite are mindset, meditation, and sleep. So we're going to spend this episode talking about mindset. Hi, Jolen. How are you?
Oh, great, Todd. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm so excited.
Oh, no, this is totally awesome because we have a lot of things in common and a lot of things to talk about and share today. So, Jolen, tell me about your program.
Okay. You want a little back history so you understand it better?
Yeah,
you want to just hear about the program?
Yeah, let's hear a little bit about what you do today, and then we're going to go back and see how you got there. We're going to kind of trace back in your journey and see how you got today. But let's start just a little bit where you are today, and then we'll go back and see how you got here.
Okay, perfect. My program's called Breakthrough to Prosperity, and it is a 8-module course. Mm-hmm. And what I do is I take people from point A, which is, what do I want? My life isn't working. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, what is going to happen? To, wow, now I have a clear direction. I know what I want, and I have steps on how to manifest my desire.
Wow. That is awesome. That is truly awesome. So tell me, how did you get here? And what's, where were you, that got you to this huge abundant mindset? Because I know you have an amazing story out there that everybody's going to want to hear about, and just inspiring on where you came from, how you got today, and where you're going tomorrow. So tell me about that.
Okay. So the first time I realized I could manifest something, I was 16 years old. I live in San Diego. It's springtime, bathing season's around the corner, and guess what any teenage girl would want? A bathing suit! So I'm looking through this catalog, back then Sears catalog, right? Mm-hmm. So I find a model. She looked really beautiful and confident, ripped her out of the magazine, stuck her on my bedroom wall. She was the first thing I saw in the morning, last thing I saw at night. And I kept thinking, oh, I'd look so beautiful in this bathing suit. So finally I go shopping, looking for this bathing suit. I went to the mall, spent all Saturday, went to every single store and could not find a bathing suit. So now I'm disappointed. I'm leaving the mall. I'm at the signal light. I look up and there's Kmart. And my intuition says, go to Kmart. And I'm like, what? Go to Kmart. No, you're kidding me. Kmart for a bathing suit? Guess what I found at Kmart?
The bathing suit.
Yes, the bathing suit. So when I got home, I took it out, put it on the bed, and I looked at the magazine photograph on the wall, and it was the same identical bathing suit. Wow. And I asked myself, how did I do that? And that started the journey. So I realized at 18 when I moved out that I needed to pay rent. And back then it was $350. And I was given this little 16-page pamphlet, which I read, which was about beliefs in regards to money. And so at the end of it was what we would call a prayer. So I spent 1 week analyzing my thinking and my beliefs around money. At the end of the week, I was a phone solicitor, had this job for 6 months, made zero money, and I had other part-time jobs. But at the end of the week, I made exactly $350. And I said, wow, how did I do that? So those 2 things when I was 16 and 18 really got me on this mindset, realizing my thoughts and my feelings and my desires are what I'm creating in reality.
Wow, that's special. Now you talk about your feelings, your thoughts, and your mindset. How did that work with your intuition? You know, that gut feeling that we all have, going back to your Kmart experience?
Well, I've been intuitive my whole life.
Mhm.
So what I do is I pick a goal and then I tap into this center quietness within myself and I see if it resonates. And if it doesn't resonate, I feel off, like kind of an upset stomach, kind of off. So then I think, okay, there's something blocking me, which is typically it's a mindset, a belief. Something is stopping me. So then I start paying attention to my thoughts. And then when I'm spending money, I'm paying attention to my feelings. How do I feel when I spend money? Am I full of angst? Am I stressed? What am I feeling? So it's the combination I found, the mindset, your thoughts, your emotions, and then your intuition guides you which direction you need to go on how to clear it up. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. It gets to the point of alignment, right? One of the things that I do is to ask myself, is this in alignment for what I feel, where I want to go? And, I use that in the decision-making process. If it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel good for a reason. And if I'm getting a physical reaction as well, why am I getting a physical reaction around this decision or this situation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then later in my experience, I've learned, your listeners may not know, but I was married and a jeweler for years, and we made tons of money. Like the highest piece of jewelry I ever sold was a $30,000 piece of jewelry. And, it'd be easy to pull in $50,000 in a weekend.
Wow.
So we had tons of money in the jewelry world. And nice house, cars, luxury, vacations, all that stuff. So then I get divorced, right?
Okay.
So now I'm kind of like, wow, my life has shifted and changed. 3 years after that, I found myself in a custody suit going through breast cancer with no income. So then I realized, wow, I really have to work on my beliefs. I have to start changing my life. I have to start planning, what is it I want? Where am I going to go? And what I realized is in that cancer experience, my spirituality took off. Like I got more in tune with things. I just could sense the oneness. Like we're all one, but I could really sense it in that aspect. And so when I realized if we're all one and we're all energy, money's energy. So how am I repelling it? How am I calling it forth? And how do I align to it? And it was the most interesting experience, which I teach in my class, is how to shift your consciousness to align with your desire and be in that vibrational rate of your desire. And it's a great technique I teach people. And it's scientifically proven. It's been around since, the early 1900s. I stumbled across it. It's just quite exciting.
Wow. So you got divorced, went into a pretty intense custody battle, and were dealing with breast cancer, and yet found the strength, found the inner being to respond to that situation in a positive manner that got you in touch with what your true alignment was. That's just incredible.
Yes. And you know how that came about? My dad came up one time when I was in chemo, and he always recorded these old black and white movies, cowboys and Indians and detective, the old black and white movies.
Oh, yeah.
Fred Astaire dancing. And I'm like, oh, my God, I'm so bored. I have to take a nap. Well, he brought up The Wizard of Oz. And that one caught my interest. I've seen it when I was a kid, but I haven't seen it as an adult. So I'm watching it and I go, oh, my gosh, I'm like Dorothy. The tornado picked me up, twirled me around, and dropped me off in Never Never Land called Oz. I don't even know where I am. And then as the story went on, she had to make friends with her mindset, which is the scarecrow. Then she had to make friends with her heart, which is about love, loving herself, forgiveness, which was the Tin Man. Then she had to become friends with the lion, which is courage. So that means she had to come up with the courage within herself to walk this new path. So I took the Wizard of Oz on as my hero's journey. That's me. I'm changing my mind, I'm clearing my heart, and I have courage to live this new way. It was quite exciting.
Wow, that is pretty amazing. Just ironically, we had a theme party just a few weeks ago, and my group was the Wizard of Oz, and I was just,
you're kidding.
I was the Cowardly Lion, so so that's courage personified, and I'm glad I picked that one.
Yes.
But that's pretty amazing. So, relating the journey of the Wizard of Oz, because I never really quite thought of it that way, but that is an incredible analogy. So given that, where are you on the Yellow Brick Road?
Oh, I don't want to say I'm in the castle because that's not true, but I'm at the other end of it where Dorothy wakes up and she finds out what's really important. Mm-hmm. And what's really important in my life right now is like my friends, my family, just being joyful and happy. Life is really good for me. I have everything I want. I'm doing well. But what I find people say to me all the time is, oh, you're so calm. You're so peaceful. How do you do that? And there's a secret to it,
Can you share that with us?
Well, you kind of mentioned it in the beginning of the show. You work on mindset, meditation. Yes, I have a wonderful meditation routine that I do every morning. And I practice working on any beliefs that come up during the day. And I take that time and work on myself and align and get centered. And I talk to spirit or whoever it is I'm talking to. And I just kind of put out my desires and wishes. And then I get my little toes in gear and walk and, pray and move your feet and visualize. All those are important.
That's incredible. Like we said at the beginning of the show, you and I just had so much in common. So, anytime I'm going into any event or anything, I take the time to meditate and visualize. As a matter of fact, about 30 minutes before, we started this interview, I was in my meditation routine and came out and visualized us having this, interview and how well it was going and just the stories and banter right across. And, it's just an incredible asset and tool that I think everybody can use in their lives. That's one of the reasons why I bring it into my program in Reignite. And I can see just how you use it and leverage it to just make your world and the world around you just that much better.
Yeah. And what's really funny is if, let's say, a week goes by and life got really busy and I don't have time to meditate, it's like so stressful and things are not flowing. And I'm like, what happened to my life?
Oh, yes. And we can have a whole show about flow. But, but that kind of leads us into another topic that I know that you are a certified hypnotherapist. And that's another aspect that, that I find that really, really adds benefit to my life. So what is the difference between meditation and hypnotherapy? What are this, where do you use that in your coaching program?
Okay. So my hypnotherapy is a little bit different than most. It's interactive. So what I do is I'm actually working with the client, talking to their subconscious mind, and they're awake. They're in a relaxed state, and they're awake and they're answering. So meditation could be different avenues. Like you could just take a deep breath and exhale and count to 10 and let your body relax, and you're in a meditative state. Hypnotherapy is that point just about the time you're going to drift off to sleep. Each night we go to bed, we're just kind of drifting off to sleep. You're awake. You know what's going on. Like if the phone rang, you could get up and answer it, but you don't really want to. You're just really super relaxed. And this is the perfect time when your subconscious mind is open for programming it. So a good tool for your audience is to get a little 3x5 card, have a favorite affirmation or saying whatever they want, and read it before they go to bed, because the mind works if we're awake or not. The subconscious mind is always awake. It's always working. So why not give it an assignment when we're sleeping? So by reading this little 3x5 card or reading your goals or whatever your desire is, you're telling your mind to work on it. Yeah. And then in the middle of the night, sometimes you'll wake up and go, oh my gosh, there's a solution to the problem. I was having a hard time figuring out what to do. And the answers come because your mind's working on it.
Yeah, that is so true, because one of the things I do is I believe in that, two magic moments, I call them. One is that moment just before you're going to sleep. And the other magic moment, I believe, is the moment when you're just waking up.
Yes.
When that bridge between your conscious and subconscious mind are connected, and it's a fleeting moment, but it's there. So I do in the evening, I say kind of a personal mantra that kind of is generic, go to sleep. And when I wake up, I usually have a visualization right at that moment, and so much comes to me. I actually keep a notebook on the side of my bed, so when those thoughts come, I can write them down so that I don't forget them. It's just such a magic moment.
And when I was in that cancer phase, I really spent a lot of time journaling and stuff. And when I was journaling, I would write a question, and then it was as if somebody came and answered it. And I didn't know who was answering me, so I just said angels and guides, because who knows, right? It could be a cat, a dog, I don't know, an ancestor. So I just always say angels and guides. But I have found in the morning time, I am so in tune that I can ask any question, and I get these fabulous answers. I don't do it as well at night. I think I'm too tired. Yeah. But that morning time, your subconscious is still open for that half hour when you first wake up. So it's a great time to tap in, talk to your higher self, your angels, guides, whoever you want to call it, and get messages.
Absolutely. And one of the reasons I like to incorporate sleep and really teach people how to sleep again is, one, for the physiological benefits that out there, but two, it's that magic moment in the morning, having a great night's sleep and being able to kind of wake up and increase that period where your subconscious and conscious mind are connected. It will just create an abundant mindset for you for the rest of the day. It's just an amazing period of time.
It really is. Yeah.
You talk a lot about limiting beliefs and, the ability to remove that, because I believe we all have limiting beliefs. And I think a lot of us are just not aware on how controlling they are. How do you get people to release their limiting beliefs and to live in their zone of genius?
Well, the first thing I tell my clients is, for 3 days, just start writing down a negative thought. And I tell them for 3 days, because out of 2 days, they'll forget. Really, you only need to track it like part of a day. If you say from 1 to 2, I'm going to track my thinking. I don't put a lot of structure on it. I just say 3 days and let them figure it out. So what happens is, when you start becoming aware, you will notice a pattern. And one negative thought today gets repeated tomorrow. And then that gets repeated the next day. So it's the same negative thought that's being repeated over and over and over again. So awareness is the key. So you kind of have to walk around with a pencil and paper and say, what was that? Or a good key is like, oh my gosh, where did that come from? Then you've hit a really good belief when you ask yourself, where did that come from? So anyhow, I have them be aware of it. Then I ask them, is it true for you today? Because typically it's not. And then I have them go into in my book I wrote, From Tears to Triumph, I teach people how affirmations don't work. And that people are, what? Affirmations aren't working? I'm going, yeah, because you're programming, ones that you're arguing with. So why not change it and say something to the effect of, I'm in the process of. and then fill in with, so for instance, if you want to increase your income, you'd say, I'm in the process of increasing my income. Or if you're arguing with yourself a lot, you would say, why is it so easy to increase my income? And then if you have this other one where you're into fear, doubt, worry, unsure, you would go, well, I don't know how to increase my income. See, that means it's not your job. You turned it over to Source, right? It's not your job. It's Source's job because you already have everything you need. You just want to get into alignment with it, right? You don't know how it shows up. It just shows up. So it's not your job. So I don't know how to increase my income. I just know that I do, and I'm happy and fulfilled. So you put in the middle part of what you want, and the ending part is how you're going to feel. Well, if you increase your income, of course, you're going to feel happy, excited, fulfilled. So those are the three ways I teach people how to shift beliefs that are stopping them once they are aware. And the key is awareness.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I really love that statement around your job is to get in alignment and Source will deliver. We've touched on that alignment topic. Again, it just keeps, popping up. It's, our job is to get in alignment with, our desires and our wants and, turn it over to Source and things start to happen. That's an amazing, amazing thing. So,
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So, in today's go-go world and, and everything's getting digitized. And I heard an amazing stat the other day that today the average person consumes more information in a day than a person in 1900 consumed in a year. And, so we're all on information overload and everything's go. How do you find balance in a world where information's coming at you from every which way and you're trying to sort through what's my alignment, and so that you can really get in touch with Source? How do you find that balance?
That's really interesting you say that, because I was just told by a friend that was doing some work with me not to listen to any external sources. Go to your gut, listen to your intuition. And I'm thinking, okay. So I decided, because this just came up in my life, to just start checking my emails and say, am I skipping that person? When was the last time I opened that email? And I'm delete. So why not open it and unsubscribe? And that is such a relief, emptying out my email box. It's like, I don't need all these extra emails. And then I kind of I stopped watching the news because I don't need the negativity. I have this new belief that if it's really important, somebody will tell me. And there are things that have happened where I'll get a phone call. Oh, did you hear about the fire? Oh my goodness, did you hear about the earthquake? Oh my goodness, did you hear about the hurricanes? I mean, I will get these phone calls from people to tell me what's going on in the outer world. And then I will choose to watch the news in a internet safe way instead of local. Facebook is great. I love it. Facebook has the best news, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's all in the news a lot lately. So, but yeah, I think that's some great advice to really check in with yourself, look inside, get aligned, and then, make a conscious decision about the outside sources of information you take in. So that's really, really important. And I love the advice about the email. I think I have 4 or 5 email accounts. And, so if I let it get unchecked, we're talking about 200 emails a day. So I make sure that, a few times a year I'm going through and just saying, is this still in alignment with what I need to do? If not, go in and unsubscribe.
Yes.
It's a powerful thing. And, you can spend all day in email and responding, but is that in alignment with where you want to go and what you want to do? So it's just a question to ask, and ask of everything you do in your life. That's awesome.
Well, and what I finally realized is I have one email for all the things I've subscribed to that don't matter. And then I have an email for really important things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll check my important email. And then I have the other one that if I get to it, great. If I don't, I'm not missing anything. And then I have one I never check, which is like a mistake. But
yeah, I got to say, I have aligned my email at least to kind of different purposes. I have kind of my personal email, my business email, kind of an email where kind of ads go to. And, I got one that my son's school, can communicate to me. So I know anything coming in that email is going to be important and I should check it. And I choose what email I have alerted on my phone. So, and not many. And then I limit the amount of time a day I look. I usually look at the beginning of the day for very quickly and then at the end of the day for anything more important. And if somebody really needed it, they will contact me again. So that's some really, really great advice. Really, really.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk to me about being a religious science spiritual practitioner.
Okay. This was really quite a journey. So I was not raised in your traditional religion, Catholic or Protestant or whatever. I was raised in metaphysics or New Thought. So the way I was raised is you don't like your life? Well, change your thinking. So you're creating your reality, right? So it's a lot of awareness. So as life went on, I started realizing that the universe has laws. And if we don't know these laws, how can we work with the universe and understand and create and manifest what we want? So if you think about the universe as a mechanical engine, like a computer, you type in, let's say you go to Google and you type in applesauce. Well, you'll get 20 recipes of applesauce. So the universe is the same way. So you have to be very clear and concise on what it is that you want. So I started working with these laws. And I started understanding how these laws work. And then I realized, well, there's a language to talk that gets you more pickup, you could say. It's more dynamic. Because most prayers are like, oh, please help me. I'm in trouble. Just make this go away. Well, what did you say? Nothing. Can the universe help you? No. Were you clear about anything? No. So another way to say it is, okay, source, I'm financially strapped. I need $350 to pay my rent. And I don't know where this money's coming from, but I know it's here. I'm grateful for the money I've received, and I'm letting it go and turning it over to you. And I'm grateful. And so it is. It's a different kind of language. It's about, first, it's being grateful that you are receiving what it is you're asking for. So step one is about getting clear about what you want. Step two is going into gratitude and asking for what you want through gratitude, as if you've already received it. So it's different than the other style. Then what we do is people will call in and pray or ask for prayers. They're financially in trouble. Their health is bad. They need a job, Yep. So when we are working for somebody else, we know that everything's happening for their best and highest good, that the right job has appeared. It comes easily, quickly. It's at an income that is above whatever they expected. Everybody at work is friendly. They get along with all their coworkers. And we just put it in terms of knowing that this right and perfect job has appeared for them. And so what's really funny is Conversations with God's been out for a long time, right? Like by Donald Neil Walsh. Well, I'm just getting around to reading the book, right? I've been really busy. But what I find interesting is everything I'm reading, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's so true. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Oh, yeah, that's a good reminder. And then I was just reading something the other day, and it was talking about coming from gratitude. And I'm like, Oh, yeah. If you want something in your life, you come from gratitude. You don't come from begging. And that is, I think, the biggest difference in typical Orthodox religion is you beg for something compared to knowing and being grateful that you already have it. So,
yeah, absolutely. I can remember a story. Years ago, I was in a job and I was doing a lot of traveling. I had a young child at home and it was just a situation that was untenable. And so I just put it out there. I want to, work locally. I don't know the market. I don't know how it's going to happen. I know my skill set. It's not something that's probably needed in my home area, but I'm just going to put it out there. And I remember filling out a resume, kind of putting it on one of the online sites. And the next day I got called from a company.
Oh, yay.
With the perfect job at the perfect time, at the perfect salary. And it just shows you to go that, one is be specific, put it out there, come from a place of gratitude, and happiness comes in the moment. And you're happy that it's going to be done and Source will deliver each and every time. It's just an amazing thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it really is. And part of this work we do, affirmative prayer, it's we always know the truth of the person, even if they're like in a major serious health issue, because as a spiritual being, we already have everything we need. We're already whole, healthy, and complete. And so by you tapping into that and saying, this is what I want, that is just a fabulous demonstration.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So, it's always about being happy, being fulfilled, and taking joy of where you are. And that's where that gratitude comes from. I am just extremely grateful that, we are here and having this conversation and sharing these ideas. It's just an amazing thing. And, we have a ritual here at, here where I live that, we get together as a family every night and express our gratitude. Things we are grateful for the day. And, in that way, when we go to bed, we are in that state of gratitude and appreciation and finding happiness in the moment, no matter how bad your day was perceived, because it is just a perception on your day, right? Events happen, they're fact. You have the ability to respond.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, it's like an event happens, it's not good and it's not bad, but it's how you're responding that makes it good or bad.
Exactly. You're caught in traffic and you can be angry about being in traffic, or you can sit there and say, you know what? Source is telling me that I need a break. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to pop in a podcast. I'm going to listen to an audiobook and, just relax. I'm going to give good following distance. I'm not going to worry about changing lanes. And I know that I will arrive safe and sound on the other side. That's or I can choose to go into a fit of road rage, right? It's our ability to respond. So
exactly. I typically say, all right, put me in the fastest lane that's moving. And then I put in an audio and I just listen to somebody talk and I just zone.
Yeah.
And I do exactly what you say.
Yeah. And even if, somebody's mean or rude to you, you don't know where they are. You just take it and say, hey, that person's probably doing the best they can do at this moment. And you move on and you maintain your state of gratitude.
And I actually send them love.
Oh, yeah.
I just go, I send you love and I hope your day improves with peace and joy. And I help them to the best of my ability by sending them love and light.
Oh, that is so awesome. So, Jolen, tell me how people can get a hold of you, contact you, inquire about your program, which is phenomenal, and the guidance you'll give. How do they contact you?
Well, my website's probably the best bet. It's jolenphilbrook.com. So it's JOLEN, P like in Paul, HILBROOK.com. And there's information on there. And also, I'm giving away as a gift MP3 it's a meditative MP3 for wealth, prosperity, and abundance. So you just kind of listen to it and it helps you shift your prosperity consciousness. So that's, a nice gift that people can get.
Well, that's awesome. And thank you for that. So one of the things I do to all my guests is I end the interview with one simple question. And that is, what is one actionable step you recommend to reignite your life?
Oh, we did not really talk about it.
Uh-huh.
I really feel if you want to move forward in your life, to get rid of stuck emotions. So if you have a belief that's in your head that you believe over and over and over again, typically we tie an emotion to that. Then the emotion goes into our body and gets stored in our cells. So then after a while, it's the body remembering the belief, not the mind. And so the idea is to get the stuck emotion out of the body, which also clears the belief. So I learned this technique when I was sitting at the river. I just had a mastectomy and I'm going, how do I get rid of the energy of cancer out of my body? And so I'm watching the water flow, going over boulders and rocks and twigs and all this stuff. And I go, interesting. Emotions are supposed to flow through us like water, but we hang on to them because we're tied up into the emotion of, let's say, anger, because somebody made you mad. So then you replay that anger over and over again. So I go, oh, how do we get rid of it? And this came to me. I was just like so excited. So basically, you tie into the emotion, you figure out where it is in your body. So usually, typically, it's your torso area. You can label it if you know it. But for this example, let's say it's anger. So you go, oh, I have some anger. I feel it in my stomach. So you ask yourself, are you willing to let this go? So you want to answer yes, because you really want to get it out of your body. Because also stored emotion causes aches, pains, and eventually goes into dis-ease in the body. So after you tap in, what is it? Where is it? Then you're going to breathe and take a deep breath. Exhale and just say, I am willing to release this, and turn it into a little chant. I'm willing to release this. I'm willing to release this. Take another deep breath, breathe through it. And when you're in the moment, it's like a volcano. It builds, it builds, it builds, and it peaks. And then after it peaks, it subsides and it actually goes away. It takes a whole 45 seconds. Wow. But when you're in the moment of it, you're going, oh my gosh, I don't want to go through this. But just keep breathing, keep saying, I release it. I'm willing to let this go. I'm willing to let it go. And it will subside. And eventually all the layers will disappear. And you have nothing left but joy, love, and happiness.
Wow. That is so powerful. And thank you for sharing that with the audience. They are just going to be blown away by the power of what we discussed today. Well, Jolen, I'd like to thank you for being on the Reignite podcast, and all the information you provided. I'll ensure that those go in the show notes so everybody can take a look at it. And please go over to jolenphilbrook.com and have a wonderful day.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Reignite podcast. If this episode resonated with you in any way, please share it with a friend. One of the greatest experiences human beings is being able to mastermind as a group, where we get together and collectively share and build off of each other's energy. Reigniting is no longer about accepting life as it comes, but designing the life you desire. We are committed to bringing you thought-leading and thought-provoking discussions to inform and motivate you in finding the joy in your journey, no matter what road you choose to take. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Todd Judkins, or send me an email at connect@toddjudkins.com. I'd love to hear about your struggles, your successes, and your thoughts. Thank you for listening, Reignite Nation. And always remember, the joy is not only in the destination, but what life has to offer in the journey. We'll be back with another full episode on Tuesday and with a short Reignite message on Friday just to jumpstart your weekend. Until then, keep that fuse lit and reignite.